Every time I go to get groceries, I spend $100. It sucks. Food is super expensive.
Yep.
It might be more expensive there. I don't know.
No, it's more expensive
You
here.
can buy a decent amount of food for like $80 here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm buying more than a decent amount.
Maybe.
Well, maybe you're like, should I spend $60 on this steak or get the $20 steak? The $80 steak. That's almost all of my budget.
Think to yourself, are you a $20 steak man or an $80 steak man?
Whatever gets me
$200.
fed.
I like my steaks rotten. We can start whenever, by the way.
Hey
Maybe
everybody!
we've already started.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Pixel Junkies podcast,
there.
episode 140,
139.
139.
Yeah, you can't go for the big 140 already.
You can't tease that shit yet.
I'm just joshing you.
All right, I'm not a droid.
Clearly, this is some sort of clever ruse to get everyone prepared for the big, super cool episode we got next week.
Yeah. Didn't even think about that yet.
So
but
here we
okay.
are playing Battlefront.
Battlefront 2 is out.
We are playing, and we're playing the same map that you could play on the beta that we played a little while ago. So we're not really seeing anything new, except I don't know. I think Aaron was getting face fucked by a Volron there for a minute.
We'll see, Adam.
That's all my Babylon 5 homies.
In Galactic Assault, you can't really pick what map you're going to play. It's a matchmaking, so you get whatever.
Yeah.
But this thing has been a whole topic of debate for
Ultimate Andrew's here.
The whole week now. Yes, Andrew is also here. There you go. There he is.
Can you communicate only via burps this week, Andrew?
Yeah.
All right, that was pretty fantastic.
More ways that we can synthesize Andrew's presence.
Yeah. It's actually Rory, just in the corner.
So,
I guess we should talk about this because we're playing
yes.
it, and it really was the major thing that happened in the gaming world. There's a golden pheasant.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is the product of the most downvoted Reddit post in history, compliments of EA's community staff. Whatever robot was running that thing. Basically, if you somehow don't know the story, this game has a lot of pay-to-win elements that sort of allowed players to kind of forego an obscene amount of grinding by paying money.
So I think, and Andrew, I think you know more about this than I do, so correct me if I'm wrong. It would take when it was originally this game, if you bought the super special Soldier Order 66, from my point of view, the Jedi Are Evil Coruscant edition, you got the game, or you got early access to the game by 4 days. So some people who did that were playing the game and they noticed some stuff, and they noticed that it would take 40 hours at a minimum, I think, to unlock Vader.
Yeah, well, a guy did up a spreadsheet, and that's really what kicked off the whole thing. Probably should have looked at who did it, but yeah, he calculated it at about 40 hours to unlock Vader.
Which I feel like, considering that, like, it's Star Wars and he's kind of the face of the franchise, that's not acceptable. That'd be like buying a DC fighting game. That'd be like buying Injustice and not being able to fight as Batman. You have to pay for Batman.
This was an argument a lot of other players had too. Like, you should just have access to all that stuff immediately, and what you're unlocking down the line is like new costumes and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, really, is you're not unlocking cosmetics for these characters. You're just unlocking the single character. There's no, like, episode 4 Luke skin, episode 5 Hoth Luke skin. It's just Luke.
No,
Yeah.
Right?
I'm clinging to life on board the Falcon at the end of episode 5,
Yeah.
Luke skin.
There's no I'm in a tube of jelly getting sucked out of the thing beginning episode 5 Luke.
There's no, I've just turned around and Rey's giving me a lightsaber back and I'm a little bit miffed that the hand wasn't with it.
You should be able to play as Carbonite Han.
You spawn, you're just frozen on the map, or it's just like a big, like an animated
yeah, like invincible. Nobody can kill you.
But you can't move.
Yeah. Well, you can just fall on people,
like a thwomp.
crush them. Yeah.
So what it was is how it worked was there's a credits in the game. So you play the game, you get credits. You couldn't outright buy credits. You have to play challenges in different games and things. And if you win or you lose, you get a certain amount of credits. And then those credits build up over time, and then you can buy stuff with them. You can either buy characters, or you can buy loot boxes where you can get new cards. So like the cards that you can get are kind of include damage buffs and all that kind of thing, which is a whole different can of worms. But and I think the balances all came in before it even went out to the Ultimate Edition owners, because by the time I got the game, because I bought the Ultimate Edition by accident, it was already adjusted. So I think it was just the EA Access users that experienced the super expensive shit. Initially, Vader was about 60,000 credits. So like you said, 40 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
And then that was adjusted to 15,000.
But then they also went about the process of so they said, oh, it'll take less credits to unlock Vader, but then they also started awarding people less credits for things, which I thought was very scummy.
Yeah, but it wasn't like as big of a swing both ways. It was like, I think it was you got 20,000 credits for beating the campaign originally. And I think Iden Versio as a character, she was 20,000 to unlock, so they gave you enough to unlock her as a playable character.
Oh, man.
Then they adjusted it to 5,000, and they adjusted the reward to 5,000 for beating the credits, or beating the game, and then you got... But she only costed 5,000 as well, so they, like, it was adjusted kind of one-to-one, rather than, like, we're giving you less, but you also get way less, you know? So, and I actually got way more than that. I think I got, because I played through the single player, and I got about 15,000. So I had enough to buy Vader, and by completing a couple of the other challenges, Iden as well. So it actually wasn't that difficult to unlock. And now, I was, of course, just playing the single player, and once you finish that and get all the credits for that, you can't get them again. So
you can't mine the single player.
Yeah, it's kind of like a one-time deal. You do get extra credits.
Can't mine arcade mode either, from the sounds of it.
You can, but there's a really arbitrary time limit on stuff. Like, you can only play so many matches before you need to wait a certain amount of time to get more credits. And that seems stupid. I guess it's to kind of... I can't use that. I guess it's kind of trying to corral people into playing the multiplayer so that the community doesn't get smaller, even though it's probably not a small community to begin with, but... It is a little obscure, but that said, the first game also had this sort of credit system for ranking up and unlocking stuff, and you didn't get any of that for playing the arcade offline modes. Nothing contributed to the multiplayer stuff except the multiplayer. So it's stupid, but it's kind of an improvement in some areas because it allows you to contribute to your multiplayer career or whatever by playing solo stuff to a certain degree. I don't think. Like, there's challenges for unlocking different weapons and stuff. I don't think that stuff contributes if you do it solo. Which I guess makes sense, because you'd easily be able to mine it, because you could just go to single player and make the AI all one hits and just easily get like 500 kills with a weapon to unlock it. But that's sort of the other side of the story, is a lot of there is a lot of locked out stuff, but there's also the different buffs and things that you can pick and craft. Effectively, by just playing the shit out of the game, somebody who's played the game a million hours is going to get all these super damage buff cards, which if they, like you can see, are survivalist and improved enemy shield or energy shield or whatever. If you get the right cards and you stack them properly and they kind of suit your playstyle, you can just become a hero and stay the hero the entire game. Unlike the first game, which when you became a hero, a counter started, and it kind of just, it went down, you know...
So you couldn't be a hero forever.
You couldn't be a hero forever. If you got damaged, the timer would go down. It was effectively a health bar that drained slowly. So if you didn't get hit, you would eventually not be the hero anymore. Kind of the same with the... Yeah, that's Darth Maul.
So, yeah, Andrew, because you can't see, Darth Maul came out of nowhere and absolutely obliterated Aaron.
So how much did they spend on Darth Maul?
I think Darth Maul is 10,000? No, I think he's unlocked already.
Oh.
So yeah, and that's the thing. There's only 6 locked characters. There's Vader and Luke are definitely locked. I think Han and Leia are locked as well. And then
all the ones you'd want to play as.
Sort of. I mean, there's still a lot of good
no,
heroes.
I was really holding out for Bosk. You know, the guy go, or you know who I want? I want Quad Nero.
Yeah, there you go.
I know all this stuff is exploding about Vader. I don't think he's a great hero character because his moves aren't particularly good.
Yeah, but it's Vader in a Star Wars game.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it really.
Oh man, Luke just got the shit kicked out of him by Darth Maul.
I got fucked by Maul. Oh, okay, he just threw me. Oh, okay, Luke just killed Darth Maul, and that guy went flying.
I don't remember that's how it went down in.
Can you play as Anakin?
In the sense that you can play as Vader, yes.
No, I mean like pre-suit Vader.
Yeah, there's no like Episode 3 Anakin or anything. It's just Vader.
Oh.
And that, I mean, that kind of
DLC.
Yeah, DLC probably.
You know who I'm looking forward to? I want to play as the I want to play as
Rancor
Saw
guy?
Gerrera.
Oh.
Lies!
Shit.
Deception!
That's all he does.
Yeah.
All he does is sacrifice himself.
Except not really,
Yeah.
because he didn't really do anything. He just died.
As soon as you play as him, he says it's time to stop running.
Yeah, and then
And
he dies.
He died.
And then you can't move, and he just dies.
So,
Yeah.
basically, to kind of get back on track with the conversation, EA. So all this controversy was having in terms of how much money it costs for the. He looks so fucking stupid wandering around.
Well, it's not even the fact that they cost money. It's the fact that you can't buy credits. You have to buy crystals, and then with crystals you can buy loot boxes, which sometimes have credits in them. So then you can buy characters.
Yeah, but
All
anyway,
your duplicate cards get turned into credits as well.
yeah. But this whole thing, a lot of people weren't happy because they saw it as being a pay-to-win mechanic, and it was.
Well, it is a pay-to-win mechanic.
And they saw it as being, as the game as being. They took what was going to be a really good, really fun multiplayer game, and they made it into. You might want to back away from there, Aaron.
Well, I can't go through there anyway.
It's a free-to-play mobile game, except it's not free-to-play.
Yeah, it's $80. I know because I bought it, but we'll get into that. So.
Can we get into it like now?
And I'm
No.
also
I
kind of
gotta
bothered
say
by it,
one
so-
thing first. So, EA had and DICE and them had, it was just with this game, it's just seemingly one PR disaster after another. I'm sure everyone's heard the story by now how they went on Reddit for an AMA and it became, or they had not an AMA, but they had a comment about the game, and they were like, "Oh, well, we actually think that this is a great way for the players to engage in the game and to earn credits and that kind of stuff." And it was the single most
They want
downvoted.
players to have a sense of achievement
Yeah.
when they unlock things.
Yeah, and it was the single most downvoted comment in Reddit history. And then
Yep.
they had an AMA, which every time DICE posted an answer to anybody's question, it became so immediately downvoted that nobody could see it. So DICE had to end up creating new threads with the answers to the questions on them, so that people could read them. So it was
I
kind of
don't
just
think DICE created those. I think those were fan created.
or whatever. It kind of became so it was just one disaster after another. And then last night it was announced that they would be taking the microtransactions out of the game.
Yeah,
Well,
so
they're not taking them out. They're just
they're turning
No, no,
shutting
off
them
for the
down
moment.
temporarily.
Yeah, so they're out of the game as of now. You cannot, once you spend money on this game, you cannot spend any more money on this game unless you go out and buy another copy of it. For now, I didn't read that part. I thought I read we're taking the microtransactions out of the game. And I said, "Oh, sweet, good for them." Well, you know what? That's a really good move on EA, and for that they had my
was just you not
business.
paying attention because I read you the statement.
To be fair, I was in the middle of you were dead at that point, and I was trying to do stuff in GTA, but I wasn't paying attention. So I was like, "Oh, well, good on EA." You know what? They got my business back, and then I bought the game immediately, and then I read,
No,
"Oh no."
don't believe their lies, Adam. Never believe their lies.
Well, here's the thing, and I still believe it. They listened to fans. They took the microtransactions out,
They
and I
didn't
think
listen
that's
to fans.
I think that's a good thing.
They listened to their overlords.
Well,
That's
then their
what happened.
overlords listen to the fans, and now if the moment they
No,
bring
the overlords are
microtransactions
trying
back
to
into the
appease the
game,
stockholders.
I'm gonna
It has nothing to do with
I'm
the
not gonna
fans.
play the game anymore. As soon as they bring microtransactions, that's it for me with this game. But because they took them out, I'm gonna play this game now.
Yeah, I mean,
gonna
from
get a
my
drink.
perspective, I bought it for the single player. And that's really all I wanted. I mean, I'm not really gonna...
Lando Calrissian in the back there.
Sure, yeah.
Why'd you spend like $120 on the big-ass edition then?
Because I wanted to see how much it cost, and they just made me pay for it. I didn't get to see how much... That's what I was doing. That's how I bought it by accident. I was trying to check and see what the price difference was, because all the prices were listed in American. And sometimes it's not just a direct conversion. Sometimes it's like, it costs this much here, and it's a completely different value. So I was just checking it, and then it said, thank you for your purchase. I was like, okay, well, I guess I own this one now. So that's how that happened. But I was really just buying it for the single player. And I know it's expensive, but sometimes these games with 5-hour campaigns cost $100. So, but I mean, I enjoyed the single player a lot. So
I also enjoyed the multiplayer. I really do like the multiplayer.
Yeah. And I enjoyed that about the first one as well. I enjoyed the co-op, like, offline stuff more. And this has that as well. It's for some reason not co-op yet, but again, the first game didn't launch with that stuff. It was added in later after everyone was, like, shitting their bricks about it. So we got 330 credits for that game, which isn't a lot. Somehow I feel like you get
That match was worth 1 quarter.
334.
Oh, whatever.
For some reason, I feel like you get more credits than this lists. I don't know where they're coming from or what it is. Anyway, I don't know.
By the way, I want to assemble a team of characters to write a new Star Wars movie about for the new trilogy, and it's gonna be what's that guy's name? The 1/4 portion guy.
Unkar Plot.
Unkar Plot. It's gonna be Rancor guy. It's gonna be Dex from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It's gonna be Ben Quatnero. It's gonna be the Jedi with the Jedi librarian misses. It's gonna be the
like the D team or something.
This is the D team.
What about the kid from the Battle for Endor?
What kid?
You know the Endor the Ewoks movie.
Oh yeah. No, not even as a joke.
So let's just, here get more crates. Let's just pop into this now.
Sindel.
Sindel? That's not a terrible name, but it's in a terrible thing.
Yeah.
So get more
How do you know?
crystals.
Do you even remember those movies?
Can't do it.
Yeah.
None of these options are... Those
When
movies.
I come home for Christmas, we should sit down and watch all of the Endor movies.
Haha. Well, thanks for joining us, Andrew. Yeah, so can we, now that we've talked about the controversy and kind of covered that, because I feel like the controversy's been talked to death and everybody's been talking about it, so go watch Jim Sterling or The No, or...
It's kind of resolved now. The biggest issue
Boogie.
about the game is the
2988.
balance. They need to get rid of the modifier cards. Like, strip that shit out of the game as well, and then just put cosmetics in as microtransactions.
Yeah.
That's how you'll fix it.
Or just put cosmetics in and keep microtransactions out of it altogether.
Well, if they're gonna put it in at all, is my point. Like, yes, obviously the ideal world is not having any of that shit and just having, like, unlockables. But if you have to put microtransactions in the game, look at something like Overwatch and just put cosmetics in the game that you can unlock. Like, I don't know, like maskless Kylo Ren as, like, another unlockable rather than just something that you can pre-order.
Oh man, instead of playing Kylo Ren, I could play as Linkin Park. I want to talk a little bit about the campaign because I played a little bit of it. So the campaign, for those who are unaware, you follow Inferno Squad, which is a special ops, or spec ops, sorry, Imperial team, based on this, I forget the name of the Imperial Corvette. I forget what the class that is.
Oh yeah, well her ship is the Corvus.
Yeah, and you bop around, and the game starts right before the Battle of Endor.
Raider or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is the Raider class. I'll look it up after, but it starts right before the Battle of Endor, and then you're playing as the Imperials, and it kind of shows what happens to the Imperial Army and Navy and the Imperials after the death of the Emperor and the destruction of the Death Star and the decimation of their fleet during that battle. I've gotten about a quarter of the way through, according to Aaron, and it's all right. I have some problems with it. Sometimes part of it is because of the story. There's a couple of moments in the game that I didn't like, and some of them are because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and some of them are because I'm a writer. For example...
Okay, so we getting into spoiler territory?
A little bit.
You got a problem
Go
with that,
right
Andrew?
ahead.
Okay.
And so there's going to be a few spoilers. As I'll just say, just for spoiler free, for people who want a spoiler free thing. So far, what I've played has been pretty good. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's just good. Like, it's fine. I give it like a 6 out of 10 so far. But what would you give it,
Me?
Aaron? Yeah, you've completed the thing.
I had swings about it all the way through. Parts of it were like, this is really awesome, and then other bits were like, okay, this is you're undoing a lot of your work here, game, and that's kind of got a little bit, I don't know, stupid. Where you're at in the game, Vardos, is like you're not really into the game yet, and more stuff starts to obviously happen with the narrative, and that's sort of like beyond that point I began to realize it's like it's not really about the cast of characters that the game is about. It's more about like the entire Star Wars galaxy. That's what you should be focusing on, is like everything else. And it's so like
before we go any further.
Yep.
This time code to avoid spoilers.
Okay. What you probably didn't pick up there was this time code to avoid spoilers.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, it didn't pick up.
It was kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the cast of characters that they add to the galaxy are okay. They fit in the world and they feel like they're part of the Star Wars universe, but they're really not the important part of the game. As unlike the PR and all that marketing would have you believe, it's really just pay attention to the Star Wars galaxy and all the stuff that's going on there, and then it's kind of like, then it kind of becomes good again.
How long does it take before she joins the rebellion?
I don't want anything spoiled for me because I'm currently playing it. But I will say, so what I've noticed in the campaign so far is there's a moment where they're on a Mon Calamari MC-80 Star Cruiser, and a Corellian Corvette crashes into it, and they're getting blown out of the air, or they're getting blown out of the hull. So they activate ray shields, but she loses her helmet during the depressurization. So they're like, we need to get out of here, back to the TIE fighters. And she gets in her TIE fighter. I'm like, bullshit. Those fucking things don't have life support. That's why they need the helmets. That's why the Imperial pilots have fully enclosed helmets and the Rebel pilots don't, is because Rebel ships have life support and the Imperial ships don't.
Did she not have her helmet back?
No, she didn't. She just got in the TIE fighter and flew off in the vacuum of space, where she would have died horribly before she made it back to the Corvus or the Dauntless, or whatever the name of the Imperial Star
Yeah, I mean,
Destroyer
I don't
was.
know. I feel like that's splitting a hair, though.
It is splitting hairs, but
They do that in The Force Awakens as well, but they're using the new TIE fighters in that movie.
the new TIE fighters have the ones that they were using have life support in them. Like
yeah,
that
those are the new interceptors. I guess they're different.
Yeah. Well, that's the it's like because the old TIE fighters are just single seats, and these ones are double seat, and they have things that the old TIE
So how
fighters
do we know
didn't.
that Infernal Squad's TIE fighters didn't have life support?
Because these are just random TIE fighters.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, no. Well,
She ran back to hers though, and maybe I can't remember.
maybe she doesn't, but like the TIE fighter, it doesn't matter because the TIE fighter then it was just a regular TIE LN fighter, and it doesn't have room for life support.
Yeah, I mean, I get in a film I can see that, but in a game it's like she
Doesn't-
could have just put her helmet in her pocket and taken it out when she was in the ship.
Yeah, but you clearly see it fly past her out the window.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Anyway, it's not a major point. I just wanted to point it out.
It's not major at all.
No. One thing so I'm at the point now on, is it Vardos? Is that what it's called? And so Vardo, they're like, they have this new, so they have another weapon that's capable of destroying planets, it seems, or at least devastating them, it's like a satellite array that like shoots beam lasers into the planet or whatever to cause massive storms. So, you see you see friggin' they show up at this planet and they're like, yeah, we're gonna activate this weapon here, and what's her name? Urso? No, that's
Iden Versio.
Iden Versio. Iden is like, but this is an Imperial-controlled world. They're loyal to the Empire. Also, this is where I grew up, and this is where you grew up, Admiral, because you're my father. And he's like, yes, but, well, aside all of that, we're still doing it anyway. But why? Because we need to show the galaxy fear, and that'll keep everyone in line.
Well,
and my spin on that is, yeah, but why are you punishing why are you punishing a loyal world? Do you think they would go to like Mon Calamari or
because he was following the Emperor's orders?
Yeah, but why would the Emperor do that? Like from a writing point of view, it makes no sense, because obviously the reason they're doing it is to show that in a meta sense, the reason that they're blowing up or destroying this planet or whatever is because they want to show that the Empire is bad and evil. But we know the Empire is bad and evil. It's any kind of fictional organization in any work of fiction, the general population knows that the Empire is bad. It would be like saying, like, oh man, we need to have this movie explaining why the Joker is chaotic. Well, we know the Joker is chaotic. We don't need that explained. Why are you blowing up this planet? Or pick another planet. Why isn't the Emperor picking, like, Kashyyyk or Mon Calamari or, like, or Corellia or someplace that isn't loyal to the Empire?
Presumably,
well, Corellia's loyal, but...
Presumably because that planet wouldn't fight back. I think that was the point, is so like they could show their strength by not actually having to do anything.
Yes, we will show our strength by destroying this completely defenseless planet using our very vulnerable satellite arrays, where if they had even the most minor of fighter support, as the rebels often do, it would make this thing completely ineffective. So we really can't use this on the rebel planets. We can only use it on one of our planets. Haha, the red galaxy will come to fear us.
Well, they had
What was the plan here?
They were trying to, I don't know, I mean, it's stupid, like, yes, I'm not condoning the plot point, but they were just trying to show their power and make people fear them.
They could have done that a number of different ways. They could have brought back the Eclipse class Super Star Destroyer, which is basically an Executor class Super Star Destroyer with a miniature Death Star laser on it. They could have easily brought that back into the canon. That would have been cool. They could have
This could have been a good opportunity to have a really, like, personal storyline where there's not this giant doomsday weapon again.
Yeah. What is, and like, because again, to the point now, we're like, how many doomsday weapons does the Empire have money for?
It's not really a giant doomsday weapon, though. It's like a couple of things that make the clouds go all shitty.
Yeah, that's a doomsday weapon.
I guess. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything, though.
It's a planet destroyer.
It's like it's a sunny day destroyer is what it is.
Well, then it's even stupider, because not only are they scaring the shit out of one of their own world, out of a loyal Imperial world, but they're also not doing anything with the... They have this entire weapon and it does nothing. At least the Death Star blew shit up. At least Starkiller Base destroyed the Republic. This thing is like, the rebels will come to fear our power when we cause the clouds to come in. No, not the clouds. Anything but that.
I mean, I don't know.
Luke had trouble that one time when he tried to land in clouds, but I'm pretty sure we taught him how to do it, so he's all right with it now.
If you were the Empire and you had nothing left and the rebellion was winning, what would you do? Like,
I wouldn't start blowing up my own planet, so I can tell you that.
I don't know. I mean, that's why the Empire is stupid.
That'd be like in Lord of the Rings, if after the Battle of Minas Tirith, where Sauron's like, we've lost our entire army. Or the majority of our forces trying to take Minas Tirith. Quick, somebody blow up my tower. But why? We'll show the free men of Middle Earth that I am to be feared. Yeah, but why will this do it? Oh, trust me, you won't want to mess with me. Blow up my tower. Okay, all right. Well, whatever. Set the charges.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could have done the Fall of the Empire better, but
yeah. I would like to see a story instead of, and why does the Empire need, like, the story would be so much better if they didn't have this Doomsday thing. If it was like, oh yeah, we have this cool Doomsday weapon that'll totally save us from the rebellion, and it turns out to be shit. Like, it's like, oh wait, this is a load of crock. It's not actually working at all. Oh shit, we just wasted so many ships and lives and resources trying to get this thing. We're even more fucked now than we were when the Death Star blew up, and just it's about the slow destruction of the Imperial, this once grand war machine, just slowly ground down by incompetence.
I mean, that's kind of what it is, though.
I mean, again, I haven't played the full thing, so I'll have to give a full rant on. I'm just saying, like, from where I am standing right now, I'm not seeing that narrative. It's going by very quickly. Also, Luke's in it for one chapter for no fucking reason.
I think it's a... Hey,
played by Matt Mercer.
Everybody from all the movies. Come see us, sort of thing. So it's a tour of the different characters.
I get
it's definitely a tour of Star Wars. And that's what's cool about it. Because, again, it's more about, like, the galaxy than the narrative it's telling you.
Yeah, but which I would get, but a lot of the planets that they go to are like new planets. Like Fondor, like everyone like Fondor is an established planet in the Star Wars canon, where it's like, oh yeah, Fondor is like one of the Empire's big shipbuilding places. Like, this is an Imperial stronghold. But then there's this uncolonized, unknown ocean planet out in the middle of the fucking nowhere in the unknown section. Let's go there for a little bit and have you play as Matt Mercer.
Well, they go to a lot of planets in that game, Adam.
Okay.
That's like every other scene is like, here's a new planet.
How many levels are there?
I think there's 12 in like the main story. There's a chapter that takes place after the main game, which I think is kind of... It's like after the main story is kind of wrapped up.
Are you on an airplane?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on an airplane, and he says, "Don't call me Shirley."
I heard that the ending is kind of like, stay tuned for DLC.
Yeah, the chapter that takes place after the game is totally like, stay tuned for December's DLC. That's like a chapter that I think is outside of, like, because the game wraps up and it's like, okay, that's clearly the end of that, and you're waiting for credits, and then it's like, oh no, wait, there's a whole nother chapter, and it's like, oh, okay.
Also,
it feels separate.
Andrew, you know what I noticed the other day?
What?
So we spoiler alert, but we did a special in Star Wars Pod Racer a couple of days ago. It'll be coming out this week. I'm not sure. This week or next week.
Should be this week.
And so one of the pod racers in the original movie was called Ben Quaternaro. He was that guy. Whatever. He was nobody cares, Aaron. It's Ben. He's Benedict Cumberbatch all over again. Nobody actually cares what his name is.
What's his actual name?
Ben Quaternaro.
Quaternaro.
He's the guy at the beginning whose ship also fails like Anakin's, and his just blows up.
Oh, he's the tall, slender guy.
He's the guy who looks like a roach.
His head is like twice as big as his body.
Here, I'm gonna send you a link to Ben, or just look up Ben Quaternaro. Anyway, he's the only other person in Star Wars fiction that's named Ben. Aside from Kylo Ren. There's 3 characters in Star Wars fiction called Ben. Kylo Ren.
Star Wars fiction?
Fiction. Kylo Ren, Obi-Wan, and Quaternaro.
Is that it?
I think there... Well, in the original canon, not the new stuff, but in the original canon, Luke, it wasn't Han's kid who was named Ben. It was Luke's kid that was named Ben. Which makes more sense, because Han didn't really have a connection... Neither Han nor Leia had a connection to Ben Kenobi. It was Luke who had the connection to Ben Kenobi.
Maybe Kylo Ren is Luke's kid, and then Leia and Han... I don't know, took him for some reason.
That would be to explain that minor plot hole. That would be a terrible
Luke
twist.
and Leia's child.
Oh my God, no!
They accidentally fucked before.
That's why he looks so fucked up.
I'm an incest baby.
Is this a Starfighter mission?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm just joking. I think Adam Driver is a handsome fellow.
That was Driver.
Oh, whatever his name is. His real name. How the frig do you spell Quaternaro?
I don't know. Quadranero. It's like he made a pod racer after his name, or vice versa. I don't know. He's the dude.
This guy.
He's got the 4-engine pod racer. And then he like.
I have him saved to my favorites page on Google Chrome.
Spank Bank. And then one of those pit droids flies into his engine, and then all of them fly apart, and he dies. That was funny. And then Anakin wins the race.
Yippee! Do you think when Anakin was flying in that pod race, he was going, "Now this is pod racing"?
It's Quadnaros.
Whatever.
That was
I don't know,
Quadranero.
that's how I would pronounce it. You're going for a more Mexican style pronunciation.
I was just pronouncing it the way that
It's
that
pronounced
guy
in the
pronounced
movie.
in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah, the two-headed
Quadranero.
announcer goes. "Ah."
Oh, is that how they pronounce it in the movie?
Yeah, as a
Yeah.
band, well, you can't really hear because the fucking sound editing and points in that movie are so awful. But it's like Ben Quantin from here again against the Dylan Singh with the Tuscan Ranger and Skywalker's done it. It's like, all right,
Like, God, it died so fast. Oh.
you're getting
terrible
your
at this.
anus ripped apart by Arc 170s.
Yeah, I'm terrible at this.
I
don't play
like the
multiplayer.
Starfighters.
I like Starfighters as well. I'm just awful at multiplayer.
Aaron or Andrew, do you like Arc 170 fighters? What's your favorite Star Wars fighter, Andrew? That's a better question to ask. Is it the Arc 170?
I like that that Chevy you can unlock in the first X-Wing game.
The what?
Rogue Squadron.
I
If you
don't-
use the code, you can unlock a Chevy.
Oh, what?
Just a pickup truck?
No, it's a car.
A car with
Maybe
wings.
it's not a Chevy. Maybe it's a Dodge or something.
What kind of weird
It's
product
whatever
placement
they
is that?
paid LucasArts. I like the
Whatever.
A-Wing.
All right, on.
Yeah, there's the
Aaron, what's your favorite?
probably the A-wing as well.
Oh, okay. It's wrong. You're both wrong. It should be the Arc 170
Because
fighter.
there's the RZ1 or RZ1 A-wing, which is the one from like the original trilogy, and then there's the RZ2, which is in this game and is also in Episode 8, I think, which is cool because it's like the A-wing if it was more exaggerated.
I can't wait for the new B-wing Mark II. I really like the design of the B-wing.
Penis. Yeah, I don't get the B-wing. It doesn't look like a B any
It's
way
called
you
the
look
Blade.
at
The Blade Wing.
it. So why is that the only one with a name? What's the A-wing stand for?
Because it looks like an A.
I will explain the U-wing. It looks like a Y.
Because Y-wing was already taken.
Alright, fair enough. So I guess that covers all of that stuff.
Yeah, for Star Wars. I will say there is one really cool moment in the game that I've played so far, in terms of the campaign, where you're going into the Rebel Mon Calamari ship and you do the Force Awakens thing, where you're in the TIE fighter and just blowing the shit out of the.
It's got
hangar
a
bay.
lot of cool set pieces throughout the
Yeah.
the universe. Which is
Speaking of set pieces, Call of Duty World War II came out. Let's talk about that for a little bit if you guys want.
Sure.
awesome. Well, Andrew's the only one that's played it, so
You've played it?
Andrew, you talk about it.
Yes, I've played it. I haven't finished it yet. I think I'm getting close to the end. Just the campaign. I haven't touched anything else.
Will you be touching anything else?
No.
So how much is that game, Andrew?
Oh, you know, various amounts of money.
For like a 5-hour campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's not bad.
Cool. Alright, so I think everybody's played, if you like Call of Duty, everyone's played Call of Duty 4. Everyone knows that
Yeah.
game.
The campaign's not as good as 4. I think I'm not sure any campaign is going to be as good as 4.
Yeah.
I think 4 broke Call of Duty.
So is it, kind of Band of Brothers-y, maybe Brothers in Arms-ish?
Yeah, so it starts off. I'm fairly certain it's Normandy Beach. It's a beach.
Yeah. Like Omaha or Utah or something.
Yeah,
It's probably Omaha
I-
because that's the most famous one.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's Omaha. I was just trying to remember the names. It's either Omaha or what was the other American beach?
It was Utah. Omaha and Utah.
Utah. Yeah.
And
fairly
then,
certain
and then
it's
the
Omaha.
Canadians took Saskatoon and the British took Wales.
I thought we had Juno.
Yeah, we did have Juno. That was a lie.
Oh, you're making a joke?
I am making a joke. Oh man, you're in an Arc 170, my favorite ever fighter.
You noticed right as I died. Yep.
So it's very Saving Private Ryan when it first starts off.
I've heard that
It's
there.
the best beach landing scenario scene that I've seen in a game.
Are the cool parts gameplay or are they cutscene?
No, a lot of it is gameplay.
All right, cool.
I've heard that they take a lot of inspiration and or flat out steal stuff from Saving Private Ryan, because there's the part where you're lying on the ground dazed shooting at a tank when your fighters come by and destroy that tank, and there's also the knife scene from that movie.
Yeah, the knife scene is there. I haven't gotten to the tank part yet. I did get to a playable tank scenario, which was fucking awful.
Did I hit
Was
that?
it?
It was truly bad. Yeah.
Because I remember, because the last World War II COD game that we got was World at War, which I thought was a pretty good game, because
I really enjoyed World at War.
You got to take a look at the Pacific campaign, and you also got to play as the Russians, which is not something you get to do very often.
Yeah, and it was a very raw game.
Yeah, it was brutal, especially because they had friggin' Gary Oldman as playing Tricky Vic. Victor Reznov, where he was just like, destroy them with the flamethrowers! Except that was a German accent, I'm very sorry. I've heard, I haven't seen very much from the game. I did see one part of the game where they're driving in a Willis Jeep, and they're somehow keeping pace with a train, and they get in front of the train, and the train is about to crush the Jeep, so they jump off the Jeep, and the train crashes and proceeds to crash for the next 30 seconds. And there's so many friggin' train cars and shit flying at your character. It's like, wow, I can't believe none of this is even coming remotely close to hitting me. I should be dead. Because there's a scene where, there's a bit in that section where one of the train, like as the train's coming apart, you see one dude get turbo flung off the train.
Oh yeah, there are so many hawked bodies in that crash.
I did play through that part. It wasn't as comical as I was expecting it to be. It's funny, but in the context of that mission, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it just looks stupid. It's so, I understand the idea is to create these, really impactful, energetic sequences.
But there's a limit.
And it does a great job of that, but that seems a little bit overblown.
So we were joking about...
It's absolutely World War II as seen by Michael Bay.
Yeah. We've already got that, though. It's called Pearl Harbor, and it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's not forget he directed that
Where
piece
the
of shit.
Japanese dropped fireworks
If anything
on Pearl
good
Harbor.
can be said about Call of Duty World War II, it's way better than Pearl Harbor.
Oh, that's
the
good.
movie. And the actual experience of being in Pearl Harbor, I would imagine.
No, Pearl Harbor was great.
Oh, man, remember when Cuba Gooding Jr. got hit with that missile and it was a daughter or whatever?
Because I actually got to go see a little bit of Pearl Harbor when I was in Hawaii earlier the year. That was actually really cool. If you're ever in Hawaii, absolutely take time out of your trip to go see Pearl Harbor.
Is there a really long bridge to it or something?
Kind of.
To Ford Island or something like that? Is that what it's called?
Yep. Absolutely make a day of it. Go early in the morning and you'll be there pretty much all day. So just schedule a day for Pearl Harbor. I highly recommend it. It's really, really cool. A lot of cool stuff there.
I meant the game is probably better than living through the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Do they run reenactments? That'd be awesome. You run around Pearl Harbor as a tourist and then they just play like sirens and shit. And then they have holographic planes.
What's that? It's oh, that's just the the Stukas. That's just the Zeros coming in.
Oh man, there goes Ben Affleck and that other guy.
Who cares?
Josh Hartnett.
There you go. I was gonna say the guy Jordan thinks looks like the other Josh Brolin. I don't know why, but anyway.
Yeah, no, not really. No.
No, he doesn't.
So I've heard that the game is just very generic.
I mean, yes. You wouldn't want to come into this game after playing through a bunch of other World War II shooters, because it would be very samey. I'm enjoying what I'm playing for the most part, except for the tank bit, which just had really bad controls. That's why I didn't like it. But I'm enjoying it because it's... Maybe there's a bit of nostalgia there that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
Just because it is so similar to like
World
the
at War?
first Call of Duty game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does it
great.
compare to like 1 and 2?
And 3.
Yeah, it compares
3 sucked.
all right.
No, 3 was
You
great.
know.
3 was good.
Yeah.
In terms of visuals, it's easily the best looking Call of Duty. Easily, the game looks fantastic.
Yeah, I guess it probably actually has a new game engine this time. Maybe.
Yeah, and it plays really well too. There's no crosshair, unless there's an option like in
So
the
is it,
settings I didn't see.
Super
But you're
hitbox
playing
marker
without a
noise?
crosshair.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you just use the iron sights, obviously.
Yeah, use ADS or just kind of wing it.
Does the M1 Grand make the ping noise when you eject
Yeah.
the clip? Sweet.
And you can reload manually as well.
Oh, that's cool. Ping. Yeah.
Have you?
It's
have
pretty
you seen
significant
that,
design flaw because the Germans would be like, "Sir, when do we attack the Americans? Wait for it. Wait for it. Ping. Now they're reloading."
Oh, I want to touch on that. Remember how we were speaking about how it's historically inaccurate that they were using Russian machine guns during Normandy?
Yeah.
yeah.
The Germans?
Yeah.
It's not as inaccurate as we thought.
Oh no.
Apparently, the Germans did capture a bunch of PPSHs before that battle.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
would they have shipped them all the way to Normandy?
Yeah, apparently they were using them.
Oh.
Well,
okay.
take that, Steam user reviews.
All right. Well, I also said that negative, and
I
honestly
only
didn't
said
know,
that
so-
because it's what everyone online was saying, but
I didn't think the Germans would have used Russian-made weapons at all because they've used
Yeah,
the
apparently
Russian.
they were using American guns too.
Oh, that's good.
They were hurting for stuff.
Yeah.
Nice work, Hitler.
They might be subhuman, but we'll still use their guns. So, well, I mean that's what he
Not all
said. That's what they
Germans were
thought.
I know, it's just so stupid. Like, fuck this entire country, but we'll take your guns.
Yeah. I will. I do want to say in regards to Call of Duty set in World War II, I think 3 is often overlooked as being a really good game. I do like.
I didn't like it.
I know not a lot of people.
I
do,
didn't like 3 either. It played bad.
but it's one of the few games. It's actually the only game I can think of, the only military shooter I can think of where you get to play as a Canadian.
Yes, you can play as a Canadian, but it is the worst playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. It certainly wasn't any 4. I really did like World at War. I would like to see a game that tackles all of World War II, like
Watch
a
me
really
die in
long.
2 seconds.
What?
I'm playing as Poe. Watch me die in 2 seconds.
All right.
So this game, Call of Duty World War II, starts at the beach landing, and right now I'm just after the taking back of Paris, I guess.
Well, they kind of took
So I
that
don't
back
know-
without much of a fight.
I don't know how much farther we're going to go in the campaign. Or not.
I think you go. I would imagine you go pretty much all the way to Germany. It would be pretty bad. It's like, well, there's Germany. Anyway, tune in next week.
Well, where did the Americans stop? I know they went into Germany, but
they
it was
stopped-
the Russians that took Berlin.
Yeah, they stopped pretty much. They stopped basically when they hit Russians is when they stopped. So wherever that was, I think they stopped kind of in the middle of Germany. I want a game that's just like, so like it start there's the campaign, but there's different like characters you play in the campaign. So you play one campaign is just the America's War, Western War, and another campaign is the African campaign, and then you get to see Italy, and you get to see the Russian campaign from the side of the Russians, and you get to see the Pacific Theater, all that kind of stuff. There's an air bit. There's a tank campaign. Like I want to play all of World War II in one game. You know?
Yeah.
How cool would that be? So it's like a 40-hour game broken up into six-hour campaigns. Each
It'd be
following a
cool if it
different
was
character.
done in like open world chunks. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you get to control World War II, and like you can be a commander or whatever and pick what troops go where and how all the operations unfold your own way. Or you could do like a story mode and it would just do it the way it actually happened.
Yeah.
Just play Battlefield 1942.
Oh man, that piece of shit.
I mean, that was a great
Yeah, that
game.
was a great game.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Didn't like it. See, but the problem is, by the time I hopped onto that, it was like I hadn't had a lot of experience with shooters up to that point, and I was so unprepared for the level of
Loves
preparedness
COD
everyone else
3,
was.
hates Battlefield 1942.
I like COD. I like COD 3 for the story. I didn't say it was like the be all end all. I just don't think it's quite as bad as everyone else says.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Call of Duty 2 is
I
great,
played most of Battlefield 1's campaign earlier, I guess last month, and this compares really well
Well,
to it.
I mean, from what I know about history in World War II. Sorry, go
I'm
ahead,
enjoying this
Andrew.
campaign a lot more than Battlefield 1's.
Okay.
Is Battlefield 1 that good?
It's all right. It does kind of what Adam's saying, where it jumps around a lot,
Yeah.
but it does it very quickly, and you don't really get enough time with any of the characters to grow attached to anything.
To be fair, that's the same. That's exactly what happened during World War One. Anyway, it's like, oh, you're my new best friend, Roger, or whatever the fuck. And then Roger died, and along with everyone else, everyone else from your town died because some British general decided to send 100,000 men up over the top, right into the screaming hell that is the German machine gun fire.
Yeah.
Here's the plan, men. Everyone's gonna run out of the trench, run across no man's land, screaming at the top of their lungs. Okay, well, what about cover from the German machine gun fire? You won't need it. There'll be so many of you, the Germans will be so surprised that they'll give up, or they'll run out of bullets. Either way, I like your odds. Get out there, men. All right, well we'll give it our best.
They'll run out of.
Tell Mama I love her.
All right.
Oh man, that's cool.
We're the clone, not the clones. We are the clones, actually.
The Republic.
The Republic. There you go.
So I guess we should talk about the next video game related thing. We're getting a Rampage movie for some fucking reason.
Because everyone remembers that game.
Remember that game? Remember Rampage?
Remember early 90s?
We did a special in Rampage, didn't we?
We did 2, I think. Well, 1.5. Because we actually played Rampage, and then it happened to be in like a Sega bundle or some shit that we played.
Right.
But yeah, so we played the N64 one. And I mean, it's a fun game for the time period and what you can do. Like actually like destroy, cities and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did we really need a movie?
No.
Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying like
there's no story there at all. There's nothing. There's a bunch of people that turn into monsters and destroy a city, which isn't even the story they're using for this movie, based on the trailer. So
hang on, Aaron. I don't know why you're doing this.
Doing what?
Why are you attacking these docking clamps or whatever on this?
I wasn't paying attention. I was talking about.
If I remember my history from episode 1 correctly, you can just fly right through the hangar bay, right to the main reactor, hit it with one torpedo, and blow up the whole fucking ship.
Also, we gotta try spinning because it's a cool trick.
Oh man.
Did you spin?
We did. Yeah.
We got it.
Aaron?
Yep.
This isn't pod racing. This
You
is
know
nothing
what
like
I think? Based
What?
on this mission, Anakin didn't do fuck all in episode 1. It just happened to destroy at the exact moment he shot a bunch of shit inside of it.
What if the Emperor set it up?
It was all a
The
ruse.
Emperor made it so that it was really easy for Anakin to do.
The Empire was a good guy the
whole
whole
time. It was all
time.
a giant thing to lead Anakin to the end.
Sir, a small fighter has entered into our hangar bay. Should we be concerned? No, there's 100,000 shields between him and our main reactor. Sure, they've all been shut down by Darth Sidious. What? No!
The Emperor was a good guy the whole time. That's why with Operation Center is like, yeah, just kill yourselves. And then they did it.
Every time Darth Vader leaves the room or they're talking, he's like, yes, my apprentice, go now and hunt down the rebel scum. And then the communicator shuts off and he's like, I love you. Damn it! I never say it to his face! Ugh. Next time for sure, next time.
Come on.
The next time rolls around. He's
Is the robot Emperor in Battlefield 2 as stupid as it sounds?
Battlefront 2?
He's not really a robot emperor.
He's kind of just
Battlefront
like...
2.
He's kind of like voicemail, but from a robot.
Yeah, so it's just a very expensive robot that delivers one message. So, yes, actually, to answer your question.
I don't know. I don't really know how else you would do it. I mean, I guess a holograph would have been fine. I don't know, whatever. If you're watching this, I'm dead. LOL.
Anyway, please
just-
blow up
yeah,
all of
or
our
just
own
not
planets,
do
because
it.
then the rebels will fear us. Haha, we win.
Like, I'd imagine instead of having a robotic version of yourself in case you die, you just get the next person in charge to take over.
No, it's not. It's not in case he died. Like, this robot was just delivering a message to the Admiral, and then the Emperor happened to die. So the message got to the Admiral before the Battle of Endor.
Oh, fuck.
At least that's the way I understood it. They get
So
to
why
the,
didn't they use holograms like in all the movies?
because only the
Like,
Emperor can
instant
afford
message.
only the Emperor can afford this big, stupid,
I don't
ugly
know.
red robot thing.
Why are the holograms in color in the original trilogy in some parts, but not in others? Who knows?
Well, obviously the in-color ones are higher end holographic
New technology.
projections. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Just like in the original trilogy. Yeah. Whatever, I don't know where.
Thanks, Andrew.
You're welcome.
I don't know.
It's
It's weird. I guess this like messenger to try and justify it, I guess, is like just so the message didn't get intercepted by the wrong people. It's like
I feel like there's an even higher chance of the message getting intercepted and them never getting the message
but
if it's based entirely on the singular robot.
rather than transmitting it, if you just have it in this one robot that won't give anybody clearance who doesn't have it.
I feel like they could properly encrypt that message.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm sure there's like 50 wikis about why it was done that way, justifying the stupid thing. I mean, all the movies do it. It's like, this thing is really stupid in Star Wars, and then you look up the wiki and it's like, actually, it's because of this, and you're like, oh, it's still stupid, but I guess it makes sense.
So, anyway, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson befriends a gorilla named George.
What?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
Jackson?
befriends a gorilla named George. Jesus, Aaron, I flubbed on a line. That never happens in this show.
Do you think he's gonna show up in Star Wars?
Oh, I hope so. I hope he plays like a Sith Lord, like a Darth. I hope he ends up playing Darth Vader, but he's so bulging muscles that it doesn't look like Darth Vader at all. It's like, oh my God, Darth.
I hope he like comes in at the end of episode 9 and chokeslams Snoke, and you don't even know who he is or where he came from, but he kills
Or he
Snoke.
is Snoke?
That would be and it's not like he's playing Snoke. Like, Snoke is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in secret.
Yeah, when he takes steroids, he turns into the Rock.
Yeah.
It's like Bane with the friggin' venom.
Yeah, it's like Bane, except instead of the venom instead of the venom, he uses the Force. And he gets swole as fuck.
I'm surprised Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson hasn't been in any of the Marvel movies yet.
Force swole. Yeah. Yeah.
Return of the Swole.
That's a good superhero name.
The Swole. His name is the Swole.
I feel like Return of the Swole is like the non-porn parody of Star Wars. Like, I can't possibly make a porn out of Return of the Swole, but it can't be anything else.
Yeah, so you just have like Emperor Swole. Oh fuck. He's the new emperor.
It just sir, the Emperor is signaling. We'll move this bitch ass fucking Executor class Star Destroyer out of the fucking asteroid field, so I send a goddamn message to my bro. And he goes down to the fucking to the chamber, and you just hear the Emperor come. He's like, "What's that? Oi, boy! You get some of that mad puss there on Bespin? Oh yeah, you know, boy, I'm gonna head there and get me some mad fucking puss."
You got a shake weight or something with him. Alright, there we go, let's fuck this thing up. Oh shit.
You just hear at all times Darth Vader's playing.
That's his theme.
I'm surprised Dwayne Johnson isn't in more Disney properties. Actually,
Well, why?
he was in Moana, right?
Well, why wasn't he? Why isn't he in any of the Marvel movies? He's perfect. He's the most self-aware actor out there.
And Moana was made by the same guy that did Thor. So
Yeah.
so where the Rock at?
Oh, maybe Maui is the next Marvel superhero. He teams up with Thor in Thor 4. This time Sam Elliott's got a bigger role.
Well, what superheroes are left? What could The Rock conceivably play?
He could be Namor, the Submariner.
God, no.
Nobody wants that.
Oh.
Almost, man.
Do you know
He
how
almost.
little money that would make?
I don't know what
We
else.
need to have
could he be?
Namor
Oh,
movie, just have him show
being
up.
Black Adam in Shazam,
There you go.
as opposed to Shaq in Shazam. He should play Shaq playing Shazam in Shazam, where he's actually a genie called Shazam. Oh no, wait,
What
that's
other
Kazam.
superheroes
Fuck.
are there?
He could play Nuclear Man, or whatever that guy's called.
Yeah, that's good. The comic guy doesn't know his name. Nuclear Man.
He could play Squirrel Girl.
Oh yeah.
He could play Green Lantern. No, that's DC.
That was like
he
Green
could play
Mask
War
or
Machine.
something.
No, that's
World of Shame.
he could play he could play Maui. Oh no, wait, he does that already.
Whatever.
Anyway, so in this movie,
Speaking of
there's
that,
a giant
though,
gorilla.
there's a new Lego Marvel superheroes game. I had no idea it came out, but it did. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So there's a new Marvel superhero game coming out.
No, you're talking
Wait,
about a gorilla.
shit. No. So in this, I don't know. We're not even talking about Rampage anymore. So basically, it looks stupid. It just looks like a bunch of giant animals beating the shit out of a city.
It looks like it's made by the same guy that did San Andreas.
Oh man.
That was
Sweet.
that was okay.
What? Oh.
It wasn't a shitty movie, but it wasn't good. You know what I mean?
That'd be like saying this new supercar is made by the same guy who designed the Toyota Yaris. That was okay. So yeah, maybe.
You mean it's a good TV movie?
It's entertaining.
Is that the one with that big wave?
It's
Where they're like,
shitty
we gotta get over the
entertainment.
crest of the wave.
It's a movie. If you were skipping through channels and it was on, you'd be like, "Yeah, all right, I'm not." Doing it.
Yeah, it's
Who
one of
skips
those
through
movies.
channels anymore? Jesus Christ.
So I think that's what Rampage is. It's like another one of those kind of mindless entertainment garbage movies.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm wasting my life watching this. I mean, I guess it is. It's not I'm killing myself watching this. It's kind of just like whatever. My brain isn't turned on right now. I don't care. Type of movie. You know, that's what it looks like.
You're not sitting there thinking, I could be doing nothing right now, achieving more than I am.
Yeah. Except the problem, I guess, with it is somebody's going to be like, and I guess we're doing it, is like, actually, Lizzie's a lizard and not a crocodile. And like, you know, the friggin' anoraks with the people complaining about the lure of Rampage.
I'm just
Rampage
they had the
fan.
world of video game plots to pick from. 100 different franchises that they could have picked from to make this fucking movie. They could have picked anything.
I
They
bet-
could have picked
what's-
Uncharted. They
who's the
could have
director
picked
of that?
fucking Mass Effect. They could have picked The Last of Us. They could have picked Crash fucking Bandicoot. Had better more story
Yeah,
than
but
this.
see, Adam, this is what happened. What's that guy's name? The director of Bradley?
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, anyway, whatever. He's from Newfoundland, I think.
Is he?
Yeah. And I said, he was like, what's the cheapest fucking game property that we can make a movie about that has some recognition with some of the fan base? Oh, it's Rampage. It's like the license is $5. Let's pick it up. And there
I'm
you
pretty
go.
sure most of the people that remember Rampage aren't alive anymore.
What does that say about us?
I mean,
Yeah. But we exist as a weird subculture that actively looked for that game. I'm talking about people that existed in a time where they just encountered that game in the wilds.
yeah. It's like, oh man, look at this. This looks like a cool game. and then picked it up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess that kind of happened with me when I was younger, because I played Rampage for the first time when I was like 7. And I was like, this is cool, but at the same time, there was better shit out, so...
I don't know, it'd be like making a...
We never played the original Rampage, though. We played the N64...
Well, we played the, like...
Well, he doesn't even look like
remaster.
George.
We played the remaster of the original.
In the original game, George is brown, and then this he's an albino gorilla, and it's like, why?
Also, yeah, I thought Ralph was a rat, but I guess he's a wolf?
No, he's a wolf.
Okay.
He just looks a lot like a rat, because they, couldn't do it properly.
The rat is in the second game.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure
it
he was called
Ralph,
Vimy or something, right?
I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyway, so that's basically was my thought on that. It's like, just why? Why, though? Why?
Money.
Yeah, but there's other properties that could have made them more money.
I mean...
Not in a place as creatively bankrupt as Hollywood is.
Yeah, but you could easily take, the plot of Mass Effect 1 and adapt it to a movie.
Yeah, but they weren't willing to spend the millions of dollars it would take to get the rights to a Mass Effect movie.
I'm pretty sure EA is going to be giving it away soon because based on how they were treating the fucking franchise. EA would do that. EA would lend out the license for Mass Effect for a movie, but then let Michael Bay direct.
What other game properties are there to make movies out of that
Ashley Johnson
are in a similar vein as Rampage? There's like very little story.
I don't know, Primal?
What was that space game that we played?
Friggin' Battletoads.
We're like Battletoads movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you totally could, I guess, at this
Pretty sure
age.
Battletoads has a story, though.
Well, I mean, then you now you don't got to do any writing.
Yeah. It's almost like making a Super Mario movie. Oh, wait.
Oh, man, are they doing that?
Yeah, that's what rumor has.
Oh, please.
Saying
no.
it. Rumor. I
hope Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson plays Luigi.
Rumor has it that they're making a Super Mario movie.
Is HBO doing it, and it's going to be a turbo, like,
Serious?
Mario ramming Peach? With a flaccid penis?
No, it's...
Can we get
Again, rumor has it that it's coming from the people that made,
The original one?
Oh, please
no. What's the name of the movie?
Well, Bob Hoskins
Not
is dead,
Minions.
so...
Not Minions, but the movie it came from.
I know you mean...
Incredible Bad or whatever?
Super Size Me.
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me.
Super Size Me.
Yeah, I forget, is it Blue Sky that did that? No, they didn't do that.
I don't know, Blue Man Group. I don't know.
I forget the company that makes it. It's not Nickelodeon.
Might be.
Anyway.
It's that company. Also, they made Minions.
Can we get Luigi played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Mario played by Vin Diesel in this movie?
Or Sylvester Stallone.
No.
Yeah, buddy, yeah. They're gonna go rail that pipe. Or whatever.
They trick him into thinking he's actually a plumber.
He's not a plumber anymore.
Gotta get the S-bend down in here. Oh, Jesus.
Is this movie...
They should get Ron Jeremy to play Mario.
Oh, man. Live action?
Just see a big dong dragging on the floor.
Yeah, no, it starts off live action, and the CG parts are his memory.
Can we
but
get
the modern day stuff? He's this fat old hairy dude.
And
can we get that dude from Texas with the 18th with the 20-inch or 20-inch long cock or whatever to play Mario? We're just dragging on the ground.
Don't overestimate his penis. 19.1 big ones.
Wait, who are we talking about?
There's some dude with a massive schlong somewhere in Mexico or something. Is that where he is? Where is he?
I think he's in Texas.
Oh, okay.
He has an 18-inch dick or something.
It keeps getting smaller.
It's 19.1 inches. That is it. That's what it is.
That's it, as if that's a tiny thing.
Yeah, well, it's no like 10, 25-foot sub.
I could go for a sub right now.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We're in the middle of a podcast.
When you eat your sub, I want you to think about dick. Actually,
you act like I don't do that anyway.
Dick, but you're going to. You're going to think about eating his massive 19-inch dick.
You act like I don't do that already.
Oh.
So what else we got here? Andrew, you've been playing Assassin's Creed. We can talk about that, I guess, because none of us have played it.
I finished Assassin's Creed Origins.
Okay. So how does it stack up then?
Pretty high on the list of Assassin's Creeds.
So
gameplay-wise, it's probably the best playing.
Okay.
Although the combat itself, I kind of miss the way it was handled in Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag.
What do you mean?
So they opted for a more... It
Alright.
plays more like Dark Souls now. It's very Dark Souls-ish combat.
Like roguelike, or what do you mean?
Huh?
Like what do you mean? Kind of like dodging and stuff, or?
Yeah, so you lock onto your targets and you dodge, and you've got a heavy attack and you light attack.
Oh, okay.
And it's very focused on like parrying attacks and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you can't chain kills anymore.
No.
So remember how in Assassin's Creed 3 and 4,
Even 2 had that where
if
you
you got
could,
a
like,
kill, you could just keep tapping X
and
on
then
your
you would
targets
just
and you
murder
just end up
everyone.
killing like 20 dudes.
Yeah.
So they took that out. They also took out social stealth, as far as I could tell. So you can't like blend into your crowd anymore.
Really? That sucks.
Yeah, but they added an actual like crouch button, so the stealth feels a lot more like, I'll say, Splinter Cell light
Okay.
now, which is good. It plays really well, and it's really cool getting, specking out your bows and stuff.
Yeah.
And getting, headshots and stuff as you're sneaking around. It's really cool.
So I guess they bored a lot of that
The
stuff.
open world parts are great.
I guess they bored a lot of that stuff from like Ghost Recon and that, because a lot of that, the kind of like the loot and upgrading stuff kind of seemed like that.
Yeah, very much. It's like that mixed with The Witcher 3.
Okay, yeah.
So the actual open world game world, I think I've read it's about the same size as Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, except it's all land. So it's a huge world. Probably one of the biggest open worlds I've ever played in.
So is it too big? Because I mean, like in
No,
some.
not really, because once you start going around, it would
Yeah.
feel too big if you didn't have fast travel.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there stuff to do in the on the map, or is it just like?
Oh
'Cause-
man, so much to do.
Because the problem I
But it's
I
not-
have with a lot of Assassin's Creed games is that there's a lot to, or a lot of open world games. There's a lot to do, but there's like, it's all like collect all the feathers. Go collect all this stuff. Go collect all that stuff. There's actually, do this point. These pointless mini quests. There's not actually. It doesn't actually feel like a big world.
Yeah, well, in this one's a lot better. There are still chests and stuff everywhere, basically.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of side quests, and all the side quests are their own individual things. Some of them might play very similarly to each other, but they all have their own little stories.
Okay.
So they definitely took a page out of The Witcher 3's handbook in terms of that. I know in like past Assassin's Creed games there were side quests, but they were all pretty much exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
You'd go talk to somebody and
The same format. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be the same format, and they'd almost always say the same line.
Yeah.
But this all has, if not cutscenes, then its own dialogue. It's really well done.
It looks like a fun
And
game. I'll
the
probably get it
graphics are
eventually.
insane. They're really good.
Is the plot good?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There are parts of the story that are fantastic, but there are also parts that feel rushed. Like if you're not totally familiar with that time period, with the story of Julius Caesar and Cleopatra.
Oh, so that's when
if
it
you're
takes
not-
place.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the events that take place there, the ending of that game might get a bit confusing because they don't actually tell you everything that's going on.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, cause like I remember there's in Assassin's Creed 2 when you go down to the vault where you get Ezio's final costume. That's super OP. After doing all the I think they're dungeons or vaults or whatever it was called in that game, you get to see some of the previous assassins, and you're like, oh, this guy killed Genghis Khan with an arrow, and this assassin killed Cleopatra and Mark Antony with a viper or whatever, and that's and that doesn't happen, does it? They've forgotten about that.
Well, no, they didn't forget. I'm just not going to spoil it for you.
Okay. You are Cleopatra.
So is it in fact an origin story? Like, is it the beginning?
It's the origin story.
Okay.
I don't think I can't remember at any point in that game Templars are actually mentioned.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it would be stupid if they were, because it's like...
Yeah, the Templars don't exist.
At least 1,000 years before.
They don't even call themselves the Assassins in this game. So it's very origin-y.
Well, speaking true of the name there.
No, that's cool. So I guess you really don't need to have played the other games to play this one.
No, you don't have to. It's very separated. There's one character in the entire game that is connected to the previous games, and you know it's inconsequential.
Yeah, presumably because it'd be an origin story for them as well.
Is it Leonardo da Vinci?
Yeah. No.
How great would that be? It's a me, Da Vinci!
Like, how the fuck are you here?
Man, Assassin's Creed 2 was great. I don't think it would hold up nowadays, but I remember having a lot of fun with that back in the day. I played the shit out of that game. That was one of the few games I think 100%ed.
Yeah. That's cool.
And this definitely has some overtones. It does remind me a lot of that. Of the same feelings I had when I first played Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Just the wonder and awe of everything. Like when you're just exploring the world, it's so cool. Egypt in that period of time is so interesting.
Well, I mean, we've never really got, like, correct me if I'm wrong, we never really gotten an Egypt-based game. I mean, Prince of Persia was kind of like that, but that was more the Middle East because it was Persia.
And that really wasn't even...
No.
It was like just run around on some walls.
Yeah. So we've never really gotten an ancient Egypt game, unless I'm forgetting something notable. This is this is the first big one. Certainly the first one in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because you start the game and you're in Siwa, right? A little village. And you can climb a mountain and you can see the Great Pyramids way off in the distance. And it's like, can I just run there? Can I just get on my horse and just ride
10
over
hours
there?
a game later.
And you can, and you know, an hour later you're inside one of the pyramids exploring it. It's really cool.
That's neat.
That is pretty cool. We should probably wrap up here now.
Yeah, probably.
We're an hour.
So, you haven't finished Horizon Zero Dawn yet, have you, Andrew?
No, it's on the back burner.
So, like, on, like, gameplay, narrative, sort of... I mean, they're very similar games. I'm just wondering, like,
narrative-wise...
how they stack up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Horizon presented its narrative better, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
The modern-day stuff in this is... it's much better than it has been in the past couple games, but it's still not to the level where I'd like it to be.
Do you need to?
But I mean, it's there.
Do you need to have played, like, because I stopped playing after 4. I didn't play Unity or Syndicate or Rogue or whatever. Did any, like, do you need to play those games in order to understand the story here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, is it's like... It can't really compare to Horizon Zero Dawn in a sense, because... Unless you're completely new to Assassin's Creed and have no idea what the story is, it's kind of not covering new ground anyway. I mean, it is, but you know what it is. So, Jesus.
Bayek, the main character, he might be the best protagonist in these games. He's a really good character.
Even better than Ezio?
Yeah, he's as good, if not better, than Ezio.
Okay, because we haven't really gotten a character quite like Ezio since Ezio.
Yeah, he's not a young guy like Ezio, at least in Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
But he's a very human character.
Okay.
He reminds me a lot of Edward as well, Edward Kenway, because Edward is another character, one of my favorite characters in the games.
Yeah.
Just because Edward is a deeply flawed character.
Yeah.
Bayek is not, but they're similar in the sense that they both feel very human. They're both really well-written characters.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of like the inverse of Connor then, because Connor had a lot of flaws just as a character was written, because he was so rigid and motivated.
Where's
he was
Charles
such a
Lee?
serious character.
Yeah.
I like the character of Connor,
Ugh.
but I'm not sure he worked as well as he should have because of the setting and because of
I'm not sure
how
if
he
that
was
game
written.
worked.
Yeah, well, I mean, Haytham was great, but that was like a 10-hour tutorial, and then Connor was like, oh, I'm just doing stuff that he's not explaining, so...
Yeah,
plus-
the problem with 3 was you had
Jesus.
like 5 tutorials before you actually got into the game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was a problem. Anyway, that's good to hear. Good to report, and the microtransactions aren't an issue.
Also, Unity and Syndicate are both great games, so don't skip those if you're
Yeah.
planning on playing, the game, all of them.
I will
Definitely
at some
don't
point, but I
skip
just
those,
got
'cause
so
they're-
burnt out. I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, and then 4, pretty much back to back. And I only made it about halfway, halfway through 4, and I just got burnt out, and I just couldn't take it's because I basically played Assassin's Creed game a year for about 5 years, and I was like, I can't do it, I'm done. So I had to put the thing down. I haven't really had any drive to pick that franchise back up and play it, except
Well, I got you beat, Adam. I played 1 through Origins this year.
Jesus. How are you alive? I'm gonna kill myself with a shotgun.
A lot of Assassins.
So you
I
played
vowed
3?
myself I would get through all of the games before Origins came out, and I gotta say 1 through 3. It was kind of rough there for a little while, just because I'd played those so much already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, where's Charles
Once I
Lee?
got to 4, I remembered how much I loved that setting and that story. And when I got to Unity, I'd played Unity before, but I didn't make it past like the 5-hour mark. When I got to Unity, I realized all the bugs are fixed for them. Nearly all the bugs are fixed, and the setting of the French Revolution is such a perfect setting for a video game.
Yeah.
And that game works so well. The story in that game is amazing. Arno is a great character.
Plus, it has my favorite ever historical figure.
Yeah. And after that,
French
you get
man?
to Syndicate, which is the Industrial Revolution in London. And that's a really fantastic setting as well. And the characters of Jacob and Evie Fry are the brother-sister dynamic there plays really well.
I mean, they've only ever had one really terrible setting, and that was the 3rd game, because revolutionary continental America is a terrible setting for an Assassin's Creed game. Do you like running around the woods? No? Well, don't pick this up. Also, where Charles Lee?
Narratively, I think it was fine. Gameplay-wise, you're probably right there. But narratively, it worked really well as an Assassin's Creed game.
I guess. Alright.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was a story they had to tell. I don't know. Didn't have to, but it was a cool change of pace from Europe.
I like a Japanese game.
Yeah.
Like a game set in like
an actual one and not the side scroller or whatever.
yeah,
it was,
like an
triangle.
actual like so you get to play as like assassin ninjas. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we
Yep.
should probably end because we're half an hour into this and an hour and a half. Sorry.
I guess that'll do it. Any final thoughts?
No, none for me.
Anything?
No.
Well, I mean, I'll just say that I enjoyed the single player in this game. Despite all the controversy and stuff going on, like I said before, it's a pretty good shooter marred by some pretty scummy business practices, and it's unfortunate because it kind of belittles a lot of the work that DICE have done to make this feel like an actual Star Wars universe, and I think they did a pretty good job with that. So, yeah, I guess that'll finalize everything.
Yeah.
Wrap up this podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week. I don't think anything is happening next week that I can think of.
No, nothing major.
Probably
We're gonna
people
have a
still
very,
talking about this fucking thing.
very
Unless
lax week.
microtransactions come back in a big way. Like, oh, we fixed it.
We didn't fix it.
We fixed it by making it cost $4,000 for Vado now.
Thanks, EA.
Yeah.
EA announces they've bought Microsoft.
Jesus
Or they
Christ.
bought the Xbox brand.
Yeah,
Or
alright.
they bought Halo. Imagine Halo.
Oh man, I would. Oh no, no, no.
R.I.P. Windows,
But then you
man.
can get Halo and Mass Effect, and have a super interconnected universe.
Can you imagine
And it makes no sense.
Windows powered by EA? Everything is like an EA ad. Even stuff that isn't an actual ad or program, just like the wallpaper of your Gmail is now an EA ad.
You can't use Chrome. You have to use the EA browser.
Oh. All right. Anyway, before I vomit,
Before we give them too many ideas.
yeah. just hear in the EA office. Stop! I can only get so wrecked.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. And thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.